Hello, my name is Lillian Montgomery, and this is the Chapter 8 discussion. So I got question number 2, and it wants you to outline the initial stages of infant locomotion up to the time of walking, and then include an approximate timeline in your answer. So, from the research that I've done online, I found that there are approximately 5 stages. So the first stage that I found was rolling and sitting. This takes place around 4 to 6 months for the infant, and what this looks like is first, the infant will learn to roll themselves from their back to their stomach, or even from their stomach to their back. This is also known more of like tummy time, I guess, if you're more familiar with that. And with this stage, you see the infant be able to lift their limbs off the ground while on their stomach or back, and even lifting their head up on their own. And then also included in the stage, after they are able to perform that skill, the baby then learns to sit supported, and then even sitting unsupported. Off to stage 2. This includes creeping and crawling. This takes place around 6 to 9 months. So if you're not familiar with creeping is very similar to crawling. The only difference is that creeping, the baby would have their stomach on the ground instead of having their stomach lifted off the ground. So creeping usually obviously takes place before crawling, and again, creeping is like an army crawl. But this is when the like active stage of the baby begins to move about, and then ultimately on their hands and knees. Moving on to stage 3, this involves standing, and this takes place around 8 to 10 months. This is when the infant learns to get themselves up in a standing position, but usually by some sort of support, like holding onto house furniture or just anything that's in the area. But for more advanced infants, there are some cases where they're able to stand unsupported as well. The 4th stage would then be supported walking. This takes place around 9 to 13 months. And this is just when the infant is now more comfortable with being on their feet and being able to walk around while holding on to other objects for balance, however. So this could be, again, holding on to other objects like furniture, or even holding on to the hands of their parent. And then the last stage, stage 5, would be walking, obviously. This takes place around 9 to 18 months, and this is when the baby learns to walk all by themselves without any help. And again, these are kind of like the time frames approximately, but it's important to remember that each like infant, baby, whatever, is different in how they're learning these skills. But briefly, on average, these are kind of the time frames of when an infant should be expected to pass these sort of skills.